Unbelievable. Damn, YouTube does it again, y'all. YouTube does it again. Yeah, Duma, YouTube does it again. I think there was too much sexual heat up in there, brother. Too much heat. Too much heat. If you're able to go back in the other room and let them know we're over here, if you're able to get back in there, let them know we're here. They wouldn't let me tap back into it. I had to set up a whole nother one. Gypsy, it's your fault, Gypsy Goddess. Too much sexual energy. You made YouTube shut down. You overheated it. You overheated it, Gypsy. The servers got overheated by you. You need to shower YouTube. Take YouTube with you and put him in the shower with you. It's all your fault, Gypsy. I'm gonna blame you for it. You got too hot. Damn, Gypsy got hot. All right. So keep coming with the questions. We're gonna do this question thing for a little bit. Just let the other people know. You know, you tell me this Dominican Arab thing going. I'm curious, like, to see how you look. This is very interesting. You look Dominican and Arab. Yeah, buddy. Yep. All right, y'all. If you got any questions, throw them out there. I think people are still stuck touching themselves in the other room. That's what happened. They got heated too and started touching themselves. Overloaded the damn servers. All right, y'all. Somebody throw a question out there. Mike V, what's good, girl? Oh man, sore as hell. I'm waiting for somebody to throw one question, any question out there, so we can continue the flow of energy. All right, I will say this. Yeah, let me say this, all right? This society Chris, I get it done. Tantra versus mantra. Well, Tantra is the flow of energy, specifically Kundalini or sexual energy. And mantra is utilizing sound, frequencies, and vibrations through repetitive patterns to create a change in the physical from a certain chant or rhythmic chanting. So that's the major differences. Like you can use mantras for anything. You can use mantras for empowering yourself. You could use mantras to destroy somebody. You could use mantras for healing. You could use mantras for anything you really want. You could use the power of mantras. Whereas Tantra focuses more on the flow of sexual energy, cultivating it, harnessing it, or exchanging it with your partner. So there is a difference there. All right, so Gypsy Goddess. All right, you haven't done. You're welcome, Chris. I get it done. Um, you've never grabbed the ball sack like that. Try it next time if you're trying to help your partner cultivate their sexual energy to be able to last longer. Now, the vaginal contraction is something that all women should do. Something else a woman can try is the yoni eggs. You can get them online. You can order them. Make sure you cleanse them before you use them. You can actually slip it within your vagina and tighten up your vaginal walls by contracting it on the yoni egg throughout the day. So there's different methods, but one thing you definitely want to do. You love grown men. You better love grown men. You better not love them young boys that are crazy, still learning themselves. Uh, well, the contractions are known as bandolocks. That's what they're known as, bandolocks. So that's one of the things. Now, let me say this. Let me go back to the limitations that we put on ourselves. Okay. One of the things you have to really focus on is what are your hangups sexually? What are your hangups and confront them? Because on the left hand path, you should have no limitations left within reason. You should have no hangups left within reason. Okay. You should have focused on tearing down a lot of those things that limit you and take your power away. Ask yourself, one of the things that y'all can do. This one of the things you want to do is this. You want to ask yourself, what is the most taboo sexual fantasy you have? Okay? Everybody do this. Ask yourself, what is the most taboo sexual fantasy you have? I'm not telling you to type it in. Okay? If you feel like it's too private, that's fine. If you want to discuss it in private, that's fine too. But if you're able to put something there, then yeah, and I always say within reason is because some sexual fantasies may be illegal. Okay, so you gotta confront these things, but you're not able to partake because it could be illegal. Some people want to see elephant dick. I don't know how you're gonna manage that. I'm just saying that's what some people. So I'm just using that as an example. If they want to see that, how are you gonna manage to do that? That's within due reason. Okay, that's not illegal. You gotta ask yourself: is this shit so bizarre that it will bring legal problems to me? But confront your sexual taboos, whatever they may be. Okay, bring them to your table. I'm not saying discuss this with everybody. If you feel comfortable with one person, that's cool. If not, still you should bring it to your own table and deal with that. Okay, because the reality is, if you don't deal with that, then it's going to continue to be a hang-up and a detriment to your growth. You have to focus on asking yourself those serious questions. What are my taboos? And what am I doing about it? For example, it could be something like you're a female, you're in a relationship. You were taught that if by your parents and your culture and your religion that if you're in a relationship with a man, that it should just be you and that man and no one else. Okay? So but then all of a sudden you start having desires for another man. You start fantasizing about another man. You start needing to interact with another man. What do you do at that moment? See, that could be taboo to you because of your upbringing, but you have to deal with that reality. Because if you don't deal with that reality, it can cause problems in your relationship long term. It builds up, it builds up, it builds up, and eventually you do something behind that individual's back, and it backfires and causes a lot of problems. Yeah, exactly. Like don't mess with the horses and the chickens and all that retarded shit they do in some of the islands, okay? It's not just white people. Some people do this shit in the islands. I've seen it myself, people. All right? So, focus on that reality and start dealing with that. You're not going to be able to perform great sexual rights if you still have hangups. Okay? Cosplay, role play definitely helps. Okay? If your partner is open, but what happens if your partner is not open to that? How do you deal with it then? Huh? How are you going to deal with it then? You're going to have to touch yourself, masturbate, use a toy, whatever, fantasize about somebody else without hurting your partner's feelings. This is why you should be able to discuss things not only with yourself, because that's where it all starts, but be able to discuss things with your partner. If you're not able to discuss things, then you're in a restrictive relationship, and I don't know what to tell you after that. Okay? Okay, now Dark Lake, that's a beautiful 100% question. How do you view having sex in front of your altar and sex in the graveyard? Some say it's disrespectful, but isn't that part of the left hand path? Now, this is where religious spooky thinking comes in. Let me tell you. For example, in the African traditions, you ain't supposed to have sex in front of your shrine or your altar. It never, I mean, they gave me all kinds of answers, but it never made sense to me. I'm like, well, how the fuck we got here? So you mean to tell me that these Orisha, these Netru, these Nkisi, these gods, these spirits didn't have sex too? When I read the story of Shango, that was a freaky ass dude. Okay? But they spook it out. Oh, don't do this stuff in front of the altar. Don't do these things. Don't do that. Don't do. Now we're back into dogma, belief, and tradition. Okay? In the left hand path of Tantra, Von Marga, some of the adepts have intercourse in cremation grounds, things of that nature. Let me tell you something about doing it in a graveyard. The spirits don't give two shits. Some of them spirits are horny ass things, all right? They're horny ass spirit beings, let's say. They love sexual energy. They would love for you to do it in the graveyard and watch you and feed off of the energy you guys are exuding, okay? It's humans who limit all these things. In the spirit world, it's not like that. This is why you have succubi and incubi, the plural succubus, incubus, okay? This is why you have sexual spirits. This is why you have a lot of these traditions, and when you dig deep, they have certain sexual rights that are deep within there, but we limit it by human religious dogma and culture and society, and thus we are repressed or suppressed individuals. So you have to really dig into that aspect. It is not disrespectful to who or what. The spirits don't give two shits. I'll give you an example. You do an infernal rite with Lilith and Samael, okay? In the left-hand path, you do that shit in your ritual room, in your altar, in front of your altar. That's not disrespectful to Samael and Lilith, but all of a sudden, it comes to African traditions and it's disrespectful. But yet, Shango was banging shit out, okay? Everywhere. Trees, woods, all kinds of places. So how is that disrespectful? It's human limitations and dogmas that limit your potential to a lot of things. You have to address that. You have to really take note of that when you're walking the left-hand path, okay? Because on the left-hand path, like I said, we challenge everything. So if that means challenge everything, you even challenge the sexual mores or mores or norms, okay? The morality of sexuality. You got to confront and discuss all those things. All right. Yes, it depends on the spirit or the deity. Lilith loves sexual rights, loves to feed off that energy. Baum Semdi, Baron Semdi loves that sexual energy. Okay, there's actual gay day that actually partake in all kinds of sexual act, the energy of it and the sexual act of it. Like gay day Nippo is known to be bisexual or homosexual at times. The shit is irrelevant to a spirit, but to the human world, we put these borders and boundaries and we limit our abilities. I'm not condoning or saying you should do any of those things. What I'm saying is you got to get past the human limitation of the mind. Stop perceiving things from your narrow-minded views that you had before you got into the left-hand path and break free from that. All right? All right, Chris, I get it done. What happens if you're no longer sexually aroused by your partner? In so many words, Chris, you're fucked. I'm not going to sugarcoat shit. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I'm going to tell you that you need to find a way to find that arousal again. And what I mean by that is you need to find something that's going to bring spice, something that's going to bring energy and creativity back to your relationship where you may start to find them sexual. You may have to explore certain things. Okay, you may have to partake in certain things. I could share some of those things, but I'm not going to go into it here because some people may look at it as weird or whatever, whatever the case may be. But you have to find a way to bring that sexual arousal to your partner again. And sometimes you have to role play. You have to act out fantasies. You have to be able to share with your partner, this is one of my sexual fantasies. What can we do about it? Because if you love them, you don't want to lose them, which I'm not afraid of losing anybody, but if you love them, you want to share something with them, you should be able to bring this to the table with them and say, let's try this. Let's do this. Let's bring some excitement into our relationship. Okay? Do not be afraid of that. Be able to put it on the table and say, yo, this is the real. Like, for example, all right, you and your girl, I'm going to just use this as an example, okay? You and your girl go out to a bar. Let's say she gets a couple drinks. You float off. You lost your arousal towards her. You float off. You drink at the bar for a little bit. You look back and you see dudes flirting with her and hitting on her. That may spark your shit to come back, be like, damn, she looking good and sexy tonight. Other people are feeling her like that. Sometimes we lose sexual arousal because you become too familiar. People stop looking as good as they did. We don't do the things that kept us sexy in the past. And we forget that she was a desirous person or he was a desirous person at one time. Okay? So that situation may spark something and be like, yo, I'm horny for her again, or I'm feeling her again. That's just an example. All right? That helps sometimes. There's many different situations you can try. I'm just using that as an example. Yes, it is epic that all the death and war goddesses are super sexual. I added the super part, are sexual, like Lilith, Morgan, Set, Sut, Sitech, whatever you want to call them, is very sexual. Baum Samdi, sexual. Okay? It is on and on and on and on. Be creative, like Kendrick says. Yes. Role play, yes. All right? That's right, Mandy. Everything is energy and it's how you manipulate it. So have fun with it. Have fun with it. Okay? Stop imposing limitations on yourself. Stop imposing all these religious dogmas that you were fed and break free. Chris, it is normal. Okay, I'm gonna share this fact too. Okay, this is the fact. I don't know what it is for you, Chris. I don't know if you're the male or the female part of it. Let me know. But however, I can say this. As a man when he reaches 35, his testosterone levels start to drop. Not all men. Some have the power to keep it going. Okay. Anyways, so their testosterone levels start to drop. If you don't keep your relationship spicy when your testosterone levels start to drop, your attraction or your sexual arousal towards your partner starts to take a dive too. So you got to be able to find ways to keep your own energy raised up, and you got to find ways to keep your attraction to your partner raised up. Okay? To do that, you have to be creative. You have to be able to play with it. You can't just give up. Now, if you've tried these things and there's no resolution to it, then you might have to take the next step, which is breaking up. All right. I feel you, Gypsy Goddess. If you don't have that fire anymore, it's trouble. Dark light, that's the method right there. And I feel you 100% because I've also been able to indulge in some of those things as well. It saves your relationships, marriages, relationships, because you're able to bring the fantasy to reality through role playing, but also be able to discuss things out loud. Okay? That's right, Mandy. You ride or die in this shit. Once you reach a certain point, keep going. All right, Chris, I figured you was the male, so yeah, just try that. If you already tried that, then you might have to just be 100 honest with yourself and say, hey, I have to keep it moving. I know it could be very, very shocking and hurtful to get past something like that, but you have to be honest too. However, if you haven't tried these things, try some of these things, bring these things to the table, and be honest. Yo, I'm not feeling you sexually like that anymore. What can we do to spark this? Let me tell you something. My wife, okay, I've been in a relationship with her for 7 years before us ever getting married. And there was a reason for that. Okay, I was married in the past. Stupid mistake in the past because I felt I was forced into the marriage by her parents, not something I chose to do. But one thing I did in this present relationship is from day one, I told her, I said, listen, I strive to be as open minded as possible. And because of that, I want you to be able to tell me 100% real with me, even if it hurts me. Tell me the honest truth of what you feel and not feeling, things of that nature. Because give me the opportunity to say I either want to roll with something or I don't. Don't take that opportunity away from me. So me and her were open from the beginning. We discussed a lot of things about what we like, don't like. We discussed things about our fantasies, what we're into, what we're not into, what we would be willing to do, what we wouldn't. And we've been real with that for all these years, and we took it to the next level by tying the knot, so to speak. Does that change anything before we got married? No, how we were before is still how we are now. The difference is we just closer because we tied the knot. But we're very open-minded. I didn't say we're in an open relationship. That's not what I said. I said we're open-minded, meaning we give the other the ability or opportunity if or when some situation arises. I meant to say arouses and arises together, whatever. If the situation arises, that we can partake in an external situation. If you catch my drift. So we're real 100% about that. We discuss it, and if we real, we go with it. It's not for everybody. Okay? You have to find your comfort within yourself to be able to address these things and say what you're willing to do and not do. Okay? That's how I roll. That's how she rolls in my marriage. And before that, in our relationship. So if I was talking to people and there was a connection with a certain female, I'll bring it to her immediately and we would discuss it. And if there was a possibility me and this female wanted to engage further, it was understood. I gave her the right to say I'm feeling it or I'm not. If she ain't feeling it, then we discuss that and we cut it out. If it's all good, then I can continue going forward if I choose. That's just my reality in this situation. I don't like sharing too much private information. However, I'm doing this now because Chris, I know he needs to hear some of this. And some of y'all also may need to hear some of this. Okay? You gotta be real about this situation. If you're not real, your relationships will suffer. This is why I hint sometimes, but tonight I'm gonna open the door and just be straight blood raw with it. Some of you females are in relationships and you're dying. You're dying because your man suppresses you and he's doing his thing, but he's suppressing you. You're dying because you're allowing him to have some control over your mind. You're dying because you have a fantasy, a desire. You may want somebody else, but you feel you need to be Miss Goody Two-Shoes based upon religious indoctrination, based upon society programming, and you're killing yourself slowly. You know you desire this person. You want him so bad that when you have sex with your husband, you're actually thinking about this dude. You can't tell your husband because he's closed-minded. He thinks he's getting the best sex of his life because you actually doing the other dude while you're doing him. And if you can't all be real about this situation, eventually, if you're not able to be real with your partner about that, it's going to lead to cheating and it's going to lead to problems in your relationship. That's 100. I'm going to keep it like that because that's the reality. I'm not talking about dudes. I'm going to get to dudes in a second. I'm talking more to females because females tend to be the most suppressed part in a relationship. Okay? Like y'all don't have desires, like y'all don't have wants. You walk around like you're holy and roly, but you see this dude looking at you and your sexual energy goes through the roof and you're like, holy shit, this motherfucker just made me wet and I ain't even talked to this dude. Okay? I love my husband, but damn, nigga, I want that. That's the reality. What do you do in that situation, y'all? What do you do in that moment? Do you like turn the head and say, oh, I'm just going to meditate, go up to the Himalayas and say, Om Namah Shivaya? Okay? Because that's what people do. They tend to say, oh, I'm going to ignore that shit like it never happened and I'm going to just love my husband and I fuck the shit out of my husband when you're really fucking that dude. So if you're real 100%, you realize you're a human being. As a human being, you love your husband or your wife, but you're still going to desire other people. If you can't control your slutness, then you shouldn't be in a relationship. I'm just throwing it like that. But what I'm saying is not so much slutness. If you can't deal with your reality that you may desire other people sometimes, then you fail, people. in your relationship. I'm going to share something with y'all. It was about 1998. I had the privilege of meeting an elder, an African-American couple. They had been together 55 years. God damn, that shit sounds long now. 55 years, you hear me? 7 years and 10 years seems long. 55 years. All right? And I asked them, I said, what's the secret to your success in marriage? This is what they told me. I swear on anybody's grave, this is real 100% what they told me. They said, well, son, I was a lot younger back then. And this in the South. I was in Atlanta at the time. They was like, well, son, let me be honest with you. Husband and wife were telling me this. They said, we learned to be real with each other and be honest. And in 55 years, we realized that every so often we have to give the other permission to get lost for a while and then come back to renew and reinvigorate our relationship. So I said, I had to play dumb because I wanted more definitions. I said, or more descriptions. I said, well, what do you mean get lost? So now this is the man. He said, well, son, I realized that every so often she's going to want some other man. Sometimes it tends to be a younger man. Okay. And I realized that as a man, I had to ask myself real serious questions. And I realized this is human nature. She desires this man. I can either be a dickhead and say no, or I can say, let's see where this takes us. So basically, in so many words, they would allow each other every so often to partake in extra or external situations with other people and then come back to each other. And they said that's how they were able to last 55 years. I ain't saying that's for everybody. I'm just saying that's what they told me. And I took that into account, knowing who I am and my nature. And I said, that's what I'm going to roll with in my life. So understand this reality, y'all. Be real with this shit. Okay? Now, let me go up here because now, while I was saying all this stuff, I saw a bunch of people typing. What the hell happened? Did y'all get hit with another demon? Anyways, I see a bunch of people typing. This shit just started going crazy over here, scrolling. Let me see where we left off. Okay, where are we at? Shit. Okay, here we go. Gypsy Goddess intelligence turns her on and better. Believe it or not, we're still struggling because the dogma is always changing. Got to keep the communication tight because it's always changing, just like the time. Indeed, Mandy, if you're not able to change, the only constant is change. If you're not able to change within your own relationship, is doomed for failure. That's right, Obsidian Goddess. The creative energy of the central mind is infinite. Have as much fun as possible. Be daring, wild role play. Indeed. It's all an illusion. Yeah. I always trip on my words sometimes. Spirituality is everything, especially when you're a couple conquering together with minions. LOL. Indeed. I agree with that. Breaking barriers. Okay. Honesty is everything, period. Honesty is so small compared to what you have to sacrifice because you just don't know. Intuitive thinking is everything. Ride or die with self. Indeed, it starts with the self. And then if you have a partner you feel you can ride or die with, communicate with that individual. Okay, be real. Don't take away their right to either say, I want to roll with this or not. All right? Gypsy Goddess, use a trip, son. I've been unpacking after relocating back to Florida. I just found some porn, DVDs, and guess what? Turned me on without watching it, but not something I was able to share with the ex. I hear you. And I can only imagine what kind of DVDs that were, girl. Girl. Anyways. Yes, it is the biggest challenge and can be the biggest challenge in your life. If your partner is everything, especially, but you will overcome, Mandy. You can do it. I know it. Listen, Gypsy Goddess, lesbian porn is all right. I like some other kind of porn, but we discussed that in private. Anyways, Bangalore. Ah, shit. This thing skipped again on me. I hate this damn thing sometimes, y'all. Okay, where the hell is that? Yep, they give you the religious caca and it shuts everything up. He was gonna get that baldness, huh? And he said, "Nah, son, don't shave it all." Yep. Mm. It's all right, Gypsy Goddess. You're overloading the screens again. Uh, Beautiful Dark Goddess. If I did that, niggas would be fighting each other. I agree with you. Some of you have the ability to turn anybody up, male, female, transgender. Anyways, couples that play together stay together. You know, that sounds like a Las Vegas theme. Kendrick, I gotta raise the energy in the room because sometimes people be like asleep up in here, and I got mad energy all the time. I don't know if y'all realize that, but I got a lot of energy all the time. Yep, they cheat. That's what couples do instead of being real. Yes, it is. It takes a lot of trust, Obsidian Goddess, to allow your partner to get lost for a while, and you have to have a lot of trust to know that they will come back. Okay? A lot of trust. Angel Supernova. I offer to open relate. I offer to. They rather cheat. Can't handle what they dish out. Now, this is Angel Supernova. That's 100. Let me tell you why. Because I was in a similar situation where I told him that, and they still cheated. They still cheated, and I told him, "Yo, be real with me. Be open. You might be shocked at some of the freaky things I like. Be real." And they still cheated. So I understand 100% Angel Supernova how that feels. Infuriating, frustrating, because you're like, yo, I'm trying to be real with you. I'm trying to be 100, trying to tell you this is how it is. I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to this. You might be surprised what I like. And you still did this. You wasn't taking me seriously. All right. So all right. You're over here sending kitty cats and yeah, Nick, to each other. See, I done started some trouble in this room, y'all. Started some trouble up in here. Anyways, hit me with some questions, y'all, before we get off. Hit me with some questions. But I had to open the door for y'all. I had to open that wide open and really let y'all know and feel some of the things that I don't discuss, because what I've learned and what I've noticed, my personal experience, a lot of individuals that are, especially individuals that are walking the left-hand path, if they're in relationships, some person in that relationship is suppressed or not with them 100% on that. That's kind of worrisome, because that can lead to separation. A lot of y'all that got into the left-hand path before you were in a relationship, then you're good. But some of y'all who got in the left-hand path and you were already in a relationship, some of that shit can suffer, because your partner sees you transform and becoming God's self, okay? That's a threat to them. It's a threat to them, and it's a threat to their existence, because you're no longer that same person, and you're now more in control of your life than ever. That becomes worrisome and threatful to some people, not just people that you know. It could be threatful to a lot of people, but especially in your relationship. And I noticed that a lot of individuals, more so females that are in relationships in the left-hand path, their relationship suffers. They're in a lot of uh, restrictive or suppressive relationships, and that's not good at all. And unfortunately, your man could be very limiting or controlling. That's even worse. But that's just something I've noticed in my experience while doing these videos and lectures, that tends to be the norm a lot of times. Individuals who are in relationships on the left-hand path, one or the other is more suppressive in a relationship, and a lot of times it's the female that's the most suppressed, just from personal experience. So, deal with that reality of your relationship. Start bringing things to the table and see how they react. One thing you should always realize is never be afraid to lose anyone or anything. Okay? Never be afraid to lose anyone or anything. That's the hardest thing for humans to really accept sometimes, because we love to attach ourselves and become needy and attached to a person. And that, in a way, means you're still not really a God over self. You should be able to be in your relationship and share with each other without the overly attached part of it. Meaning you're still individuals, but you share and come together as partners. You're still individuals, and you let each other be those individuals. You let yourself express, let your partner express themselves how they choose, in the ways they choose, but you come together and share with each other. That's something that can assist and help in your journeys. Try that. Try that method, to not to be so attached that you lose your own identity and you lose yourself in the process. Still remain who you are and be who you are, but you share your lives with each other. Gypsy Goddess, if now you single, go for it, girl. This is the time for you to explore. Explore, Gypsy Goddess. This is your time. If you're, especially now that you're single, you definitely want to start exploring. Okay? You definitely want to start exploring and checking things out. You definitely want to tap into that part of yourself if you're on this path now. Okay? Which you are. So it's time for you to take heed to what your spirit is telling you and start exploring. All right? Gypsy Goddess, question. Do you want me to send you one of the most profound, powerful Lilith rituals ever created by myself? I know I had to toot my own horn for a second, but yo, let me tell you, this Lilith ritual I created, anybody I've given them this to got results like quick, fast, in a hurry. It's very powerful Lilith ritual. It can be performed by yourself or with others, but since I always tell people, try the ritual by yourself first. It's no joke. So if you want that Lilith ritual, I always put my email address here at the end, and I'll gladly email it to whoever wants that Lilith ritual. Since your energies are high, now's the time to ask for the Lilith ritual, because this shit is no joke. I'm just telling you, the ritual is no joke. All right? This will help you tap into that Lilith energy. And dudes, you can do this too, because some of y'all need to tap into that demonic feminine energy within you. This ritual is on point. All right. So whoever wants it, I'm all good sending it. So I'm about to get off this thing now. Since Gypsy Goddess overloaded the last room, I don't want her to overload this room with her energy. So we're going to get off here before we get shook out and shut down by YouTube. Sir Noble, I feel you, bro. Listen, partners in relationships, some of them can be so controlling that they make you feel like you a servant or a slave. All right, here's what y'all gonna do. So all put in your email addresses, and that's what we're gonna do. You see my email right here? Send me an email. You can say hi, you can say send me the ritual, it don't matter. Send me the email and I'll send it to you. Because I'm not going to remember these emails, and when I shut this down, this is all going to disappear, and I got to go back and watch this thing again. All right, so just email me, and I'm going to put my email address here one more time, darkoccultist99@outlook.com. All right. Also, as y'all know, the website's up. Go to serpentcrystals.com. There's Kali oil there to help you with your tantric rituals. Okay, that Kali oil is fire. Get that. All right, and there's one more, Shiva Lingam oil for the men, which helps with the sexual energy for men. That oil is fire too, so get that. Serpentcrystals.com. All right. So hit me up. Everybody who wants this ritual, email me as soon as possible, because I'm going to send it tonight. I'll forget tomorrow. So as soon as we're done here, shoot me an email, and I'll hook it up for y'all for the Lilith ritual. Get those oils to perform the ritual. Kali and Lilith are variations of the same demonic feminine sexual warrior energy. So you can use the Kali oil in your ritual for Lilith, okay? That I'll be sending y'all. So email me, check out the website, and we'll be here next week. What the hell did I say next week is? Shit, I got to go back and watch the video. I forgot what I said next week's classes. That damn age, boy. Age. All right. Whatever. Y'all know the topic by next week. I put a video up. I'll go back and watch it to know what next week's topic is. Peace. Have fun. Love y'all.